In the last year, have you dated anyone privately? We don't need to say names, just a yes or a no.
Honestly, no. Isn't that crazy?
You haven't, even though
I
you looked
haven't.
down the whole time you answered me.
No, I haven't.
Okay. Is this
You
the
know I
long-
haven't. I would say if I did.
I know you would. This is, and I think I'm right, the longest you've ever been single for.
It is.
Yeah. How do you feel being in
I
this
feel
space?
good, honestly. Like, I just feel like, you know, my kids need me. It's really hard when, you know, I have to put them to bed every night. I get them up. I take them to school.
They'll
I
sleep
get
in
them
your
ready.
bed.
They sleep in my bed.
6 seasons of drama, billions in brand deals, and somehow the Kardashians are losing the internet. The wealth flexing has hit a wall, the chaos has gone from entertaining to exhausting, and people are unfollowing Kim Kardashian by the millions. The general consensus is growing louder every day. She's completely lost touch with reality. Kim filed for divorce from Kanye West in February 2021 after 6 years of marriage, and what followed was 15 months of very public fallout. Kanye made several attempts to win her back. Kim, for her part, seemed to go out of her way to make things worse. When she landed the hosting gig on Saturday Night Live, Kanye sent her a $23,000 fur coat as a gift to celebrate.
I've been very blessed in this life, and I'm grateful for everything. Honestly, all the ups, all the downs. I mean, I married the best rapper of all time. He's the richest black man in America, a talented, legit genius who gave me 4 incredible kids. So, when I divorced him, you have to know it came down to just one thing. His personality. I know that sounds mean, but people keep telling me that comedy comes from truth. And if there's one thing that I always strive to be, it's genuine.
Then, right there on live television, she kissed SNL cast member Pete Davidson in front of the whole country. 4 months after that, on Valentine's Day, Kim and Pete confirmed they were together by going out to dinner at John and Vinny's, a restaurant that happens to sell a Kanye-themed pizza called the Ham and Yeezy. Photos from that night spread everywhere fast, and fans noticed something immediately. Kim was wearing the exact same fur coat Kanye had given her. The two of them kept escalating things even as Kanye was publicly begging to keep his family together. Pete had the initials of Kanye's 4 children tattooed on his neck and reportedly sent Kanye photos of himself in bed with Kim. Kanye responded on social media, then followed it up with a music video for his song Easy that showed a clay version of himself burying Pete Davidson alive.
Kanye West buried Pete Davidson alive in his video Easy. The video shows an animation of Kanye kidnapping Pete Davidson, burying him alive, and then planting a bed of roses on top of his head, and after, he drives away in a car that looks similar to the one he left at Kim's house on Valentine's. The lyrics from the song also include, "God save me from that crash so I can beat Pete Davidson's ass."
Pete then got photographed inside Kim's gated community, driving a golf cart with Kanye's kids on his lap, and a lot of people suspected Kim had tipped off the paparazzi herself. Here's where things get really dark. Some people started theorizing that the entire relationship with Pete Davidson was never really about romance at all. The theory goes that it was a calculated move to break Kanye down mentally, so the Kardashian family could eventually place him under a conservatorship. That might sound extreme, but Kanye had already shared screenshots back in 2016 of his own personal trainer threatening him with exactly that.
We found out that my trainer was a MK Ultra Canadian intelligence.
He worked in the defense research and development in the Canadian military, essentially working on psyops in the Canadian military. This is Harley Pasternak.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, look, they tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me, and they when I asked them, how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
The family's connection to Lou Taylor made people take the theory more seriously. Taylor is the CEO of TriStar Sports and Entertainment, and the person widely accused of engineering Britney Spears' 13-year conservatorship. The Kardashian-Jenner family allegedly borrowed over $100 million from Taylor's business, including a $48.7 million loan connected to Kim's $70 million Malibu mansion. When Kim publicly praised Britney's memoir about the horrors of her conservatorship, fans had one question: how could she do that with a straight face? When Kanye's claymation video went public, Pete Davidson said the harassment drove him into trauma therapy, and within weeks, he and Kim quietly ended things. Looking back at their 9 months together, the whole relationship seemed less like a love story and more like one long provocation aimed directly at Kanye. Starting with that first date in the gifted fur coat, running through the neck tattoos, and ending with Kim later admitting on her own reality show that she jumped in way too fast and regretted the rebound entirely. But the relationship drama is only part of what keeps pushing Kim's audience away. In 2022, she dropped $95 million on a Gulfstream jet, then poured even more into custom cashmere interiors and a second bathroom until the total price tag ballooned to a staggering $150 million. The plane got nicknamed Kim Air, and it quickly became something else entirely, a symbol of unchecked environmental damage.
Hey guys, Global Express on our way to Cannes. Woo-woo. Okay guys, so I'm gonna show you my bedroom for the night. Simon's joining us. Stephanie too. Look at how cute. This will be where I'll sleep. My room. Simon, this can be your bed. We'll like make a bed there or here and move all that. And then Stephanie can have that section. What do you guys think of my look tonight? I did no fake lashes, no hair extensions, no lipstick, no jewelry.
In just 1 year, that jet pumped nearly 13 million pounds of CO2 into the atmosphere across 165 flights, earning Kim the title of second highest individual polluter in the entire United States. She was routinely logging flights under 15 minutes. Some days she took up to 5 flights, once bouncing between Nevada, California, and Arizona, all within a single 24-hour stretch. Here's where it gets almost impossible to ignore. Her shapewear brand, SKIMS, publicly champions sustainability and donates to climate organizations. She even launched a bra with built-in nipples, joking that while sea levels rise and ice sheets disappear, at least everyone can look cold. She showed off a plastic-free water fridge, wrapped Christmas gifts in SKIMS fabric to skip paper waste, and then turned around and blanketed her 3-acre property in artificial snow. During California's brutal 2022 drought, while residents were living under strict water restrictions, Kim burned through 232,000 gallons in a single month just to keep her lawn green.
No, Kimberly, no. You are not a sustainable queen for reusing SKIMS fabric to wrap your presents. First of all, SKIMS is not an eco-friendly brand. Most of their fabric is polyester, which is made from oil. I just really doubt that she's gonna be reusing any of this. This is her yard right now in Southern California. Definitely no sustainable way to do this. So I'm sorry, Kimberly, you're gonna have to try a little bit harder.
And now for the part that changes everything. Industry insiders say Kim Air was never really about convenience. It was about money. Earning around $80 million a year, Kim used qualifying business expenses to cut her taxable income down significantly.
Did you guys know that Kim bought an $150 million jet to avoid taxes? Here's exactly how she did it. Kim earns a reported $80 million a year. But because she is a deduction queen, she brings down her taxable income by writing off purchases as qualified business expenses, which is what she did with her jet. Because of this tax code, she just had to prove that she used the plane over 50% of the time for business for it to be a write-off, which she does. I mean, they filmed the Kardashians on the plane, and like, I'm sure she holds meetings in the air for SKIMS. And this tax code says that you can write off vehicles that weigh more than 6,000 pounds, which like a plane is a vehicle. Where is the lie? And if you're wondering how big of a write-off Kim got for her plane, 100%. That's because she bought it in 2021 and was able to take advantage of bonus depreciation.
Back in 2019, Kim splashed across the cover of Vogue with a bold announcement. She was entering California's Reading the Law program, a 4-year legal apprenticeship. It took private tutors, 4 attempts, and 3 years, but she eventually cleared the baby bar exam. That's a first-year law student test, just to be clear.
I want to talk to you about your law degree. How far into you're halfway through? You're halfway done. So you're halfway done with it. How have you found doing it? Has it been harder than you thought it had been? What's it been like being back in that environment?
It's definitely really challenging time-wise because they just with kids and I have a lot going on now.
What is the end goal?
The end goal is, I hope that I can help support cases that I really believe in for people that either can't fund their own cases or really need the guidance. And then I hope to start a firm that hires formerly incarcerated people to help work in the firm.
But Kim ran with it, repositioning herself as a legal mind and launching a true crime podcast called The System. The show centered on Kevin Keith, a man on death row for a 1994 triple murder, with Kim declaring him innocent and a victim of a racist judicial system. The backlash hit fast and hard. Survivors of the shooting came forward, revealing Kim had never once contacted them for their side of the story. They accused her of distorting the facts of a brutal crime with clear forensic evidence and multiple eyewitnesses, all so she could cast herself as the hero. She didn't slow down. Kim kept playing lawyer online, rallying behind infamous gang leader Larry Hoover and death row inmate Rodney Reed. Reed was convicted of a horrific 1996 murder where his DNA was found on the victim, with ties to multiple other assaults. Kim took to Twitter anyway, reducing his conviction to a talking point about an all-white jury. Her criminal justice crusade was starting to look less like activism and more like an image renovation project. Now here's where things get darker. Kim's pattern of taking advantage of people reportedly goes all the way back to 2006, when she was working as a stylist for R&B star Brandy. She allegedly used a credit card provided by Brandy's mother, Sonia Norwood, for a single approved purchase, then secretly ran up over $120,000 in unauthorized charges at Kardashian boutiques. The family didn't pay it back until Sonia took them to court.
Styling because my best friend is Brandy, and we'd always shop together. She'd always ask me to be, oh, you have to help me out, be my stylist.
Brandy authorized one purchase from Smooch, a little children's boutique. They were right next to Smooch in the same little shopping area in Calabasas. This was their first and only store for until 2010, I believe. Kim was authorized to make one purchase, but if you actually watch the early days of the Kardashians, Kim has blatantly said she does remember credit card numbers very well. She remembers her dad's. It wasn't until North was born when she got baby brain, and that's when she lost that ability. Kardashians, of course, clapped back and said the accusations are meritless. The only time they ever purchased anything was with express authorization, and they look forward to fighting this in the court of law, which they did. If you want to know one thing about the Kardashians and their access to lawyers, not only is their dad one of technically the best criminal defense lawyers, but if you watch one scene, Khloe goes to prison, Kim doesn't tell Kris until the next morning, and Kris immediately gets pissed, picks up the phone, calls one of the best lawyers in California, not just Calabasas, California, and goes, "Put me through, I'm Kris Jenner, tell him it's an emergency." Khloe's out within 40 minutes. So they wanted the 120 back plus the 10% interest, which equals 132,000. Now that equals 204,000 USD in today's money, because this was 2008. So this ended up getting settled, I believe. Listen, everyone's signing NDAs. If you don't think an NDA was signed, Ray J would have spoke about it. That's how I know an NDA must have been signed with this. But basically, I'm pretty sure they settled. And I wouldn't be asking for 10, I would be asking for 20%, plus you can pay for my lawyer fees, because they're very rich. They live in Hidden Hills at this point.
And the questionable money moves don't stop there. Kris Jenner's California Community Church, founded in 2009 and led by a pastor reportedly recruited from Starbucks, encourages members to donate 10% of their income. Because churches aren't required to file financial reports with the IRS,
the pastor of it is a guy named Brad Johnson. What do we know about Brad? A little drug overdose, cheating scandal, bankruptcy. He used to be in charge of a 4,000-person church called Calvary Community Church.
Critics allege the millions Kim donates each year are quietly cycled back to her as massive tax write-offs. On top of that, her SKIMS line is manufactured in Turkey, a country known for very low minimum wages, and its refusal to recognize the Armenian genocide, the same historical tragedy Kim once made a very public point of championing. The exploitation doesn't stop at brands and businesses. It reaches individual people too. Software developer David Liebensohn brought the idea for the Kimoji app to Kim and Kris back in 2013, operating on nothing more than a verbal agreement. Kim's legal team offered to handle the trademark registration, then quietly left his name off the filings and took the intellectual property for themselves. When David sued for $100 million, Kim countersued for $300 million, and the financial pressure alone forced him to walk away. What came next was even worse. They went after him for $400,000 in legal fees, gutting him financially, costing him his marriage, and leaving him living out of his car while working 2 jobs just to survive the fallout. The pattern of image over everything runs through every corner of her public life. She bragged on live television that her daughter shortchanges customers at a lemonade stand by pocketing their change. She got sued by the Donald Judd Foundation for passing off cheap knockoff furniture as authentic $90,000 pieces during an office tour. And her history of going after other women? That stretches all the way back to a 2007 MySpace feud where she targeted a 22-year-old Hailey Duff in the middle of Paris Hilton's personal rivalries. Then came 2016 and one of the most calculated moves of her career. When Taylor Swift spoke out about being hurt by a lyric in Kanye's song Famous, Kim released a selectively edited recording of a phone call to Snapchat, framing Taylor as a liar in front of the entire internet. The fallout was immediate and brutal, a global hate campaign that reduced Taylor to a snake meme overnight. Taylor later opened up about what that period actually did to her, revealing it drove her out of the country entirely for a full year, hiding from the public out of fear. She eventually addressed it all on her album, The Tortured Poets Department, making one point very clear. While Kim was busy engineering takedowns online, Taylor was quietly building an empire. The bullying surfaced again during a 2017 trip to Dubai. When Kim discovered a woman in Scott Disick's hotel room, she erupted, hurling insults, calling the woman ghetto, and ordering her personal security to physically remove her. She called Kanye right after to brag about how she handled it, all while publicly insisting she wanted nothing to do with drama. In 2019, 22-year-old Jordan Woods was caught kissing Khloe's partner Tristan Thompson at a party. Kim moved fast, telling her sisters they needed to scare the living daylights out of her. The coordinated pile-on that followed was relentless enough to generate genuine death threats against Jordan, and the only reason it stopped was because a tearful Kylie stepped in and begged Kim to pull back. Here's the part that's almost hard to believe. Even after all of it, Kim kept showing up to Tristan's basketball games, cheering him on publicly, despite his repeated history of cheating on and getting other women pregnant while still with Khloe. Things came to a head in 2018 when Kim got involved in a dispute over Donda's House, a Chicago youth charity created in memory of Kanye's late mother. When co-founder Rhymefest publicly reached out to Drake for financial help after Kanye pulled the charity's funding, Kim didn't stay quiet. She went after Rhymefest on Twitter, mocking his music, calling him a liar, and threatening to strip the charity from him entirely and hand it over to her young kids to run instead. The fallout was devastating. The organization couldn't survive the pressure and shut its doors completely, cutting off a lifeline for underprivileged youth in inner-city Chicago. And Kim's response once the damage was done? She claimed Kanye had stolen her phone and sent the tweets himself. Now here's where it gets interesting. Strip away the rebranding, the press tours, the carefully timed redemption arcs, and a pattern shows up every single time. Take something that belongs to someone else, profit from it, silence whoever pushes back, and spin the mess into a business moment. Credit card data, app trademarks, legal credentials she didn't earn the traditional way. A death row crusader narrative that arrives just when public opinion needs resetting. The formula doesn't change, only the costume does. And audiences are starting to notice. One season she's a supermodel, the next she's fighting for the wrongfully convicted. And somehow neither version lands the way it used to. Celebrity fatigue is real, and the gap between Kim's curated image and the full story keeps getting harder to ignore. That's the picture nobody's packaging for a magazine cover. Subscribe for more Hollywood deep dives, and we'll see you in the next one.